Nithyananda, welcome back to Nithya Kriya. Today is dated 31st of May, 2023, the last day of May. And today we have a very special Kriya. This Kriya is specially designed for women. Today, actually, the session is for women health, okay? So it is Nithya Kriya for care for the polycystic ovaries, okay? So before we begin the session, let us all center ourselves for a few minutes. So sit in any comfortable meditative posture, aligning the whole head, neck, and spine in one straight line. And just feel comfortably seated by grounding your two sitting bones to the earth so that your whole spine can be upright. And if you're completely aligned, you should feel weightless. There's no weight when you're sitting. So find easiness in the sitting posture with the proper alignment of the spine and head. And when you find that alignment, just bring awareness to the whole body from head to the toes, your fingertips. Occupy the entire body with your presence. Not just the head, but entire body. Feel the whole body intensely and start breathing very slowly and deeply. Long inhalation and long exhalation with the awareness of the two gaps between the breathing. In those gaps, it is where you fall in tune with that silence, the silence of no thought, no movement. So the more and more you allow yourself to settle into the pause, the neutral zone, the more and more you'll be able to settle down and become centered at the being. So take a few more moments to center yourself into the space of restful awareness in listening, Shravana. In this present moment, we shall invoke Swamiji's presence. Let's join the palms together in the Amajali Mudra, the prayer pose right in front of the heart center, Anahata Chakra. So let's chant the Satguru Vandanam, followed by 3 times the Mahavakya. So take a deep breath. Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Vandvatitam Gaganashatrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Savadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Trigunarahitam Satgurundam Namami. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. In that silent space, let's set an intention. The intention is to have a healthy body, healthy system, reproductive system. Make sure that the whole body is healthy. So declare the intention. See, the Kriya is designed to bring healing to the body by awakening the Kundalini Shakti. So make the declaration that let this body be completely healed, planting that as a seed of transformation. So declare this intention 3 times in your inner space. For those of you who already had a troubled reproductive system, make the declaration consciously to be healed completely. Before we enter into the session. All right. So once you are done with the decoration, let's enter into the Nithya Kriya itself. So my name is Nithya Dugananda. Many people call me Duga in short. I'm from Kailasa, Singapore. So in today's session, we are going to take a look at women's health. Okay. In the past 20 Nithya Kriyas, we're mainly recommending the Kriyas for both genders. But in today's session is mainly for women. Okay, specific issue related to women. So next slide. So once again, for the benefit of new people who are joined online at the social media or watching it for the first time, I like to do a quick introduction, a recap on Nithya Kriyas, the genesis of how this Nithya Kriya came about. Understand, Nithya Kriyas, 108 Nithya Kriyas, they are the gift of Swamiji, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Basically, it is actually a unique and ancient combination of components of Nithyananda Kriya, Yoga, which is asanas related, and also pranayama, breathing techniques, visualization, including verbalization in the form of mantras and internal verbalization. So these are combination depending on the kriyas which is designed. These are the components that is they are being included. Okay, so these kriyas derive from the ancient source of source scriptures of Hinduism. So which means they are actually the research, I would say, they came from the research from Swamiji's, many years of conducting programs, sessions, and initiation. So this set of kriyas was given to the world in 2011 after Swamiji was illegally imprisoned in 2010. So for the 3 months where he was spent in the prison, he basically did this R&D and he worked on his body and formulated 108 kriyas, okay, which is catering to the modern world disorder and diseases. In this modern world, we have, where I would say there are a lot of common ailments and diseases that we are confronting in the modern, due to the unconscious modern lifestyle. So these kriyas can be used to help healing. So they are actually a combination of cure and care, preventing care, okay? So which works respectively for each condition or disorder, even though the desired result may be experienced within a few days of doing the kriya, practicing the kriya. But he said that for anything to become your permanent muscle memory, always do 21 days consecutively, no break. Okay, for 21 days, do the kriya so that you can fully enjoy the benefit of healing. Next slide. So, understand, Nithya Kriyas deliver and preserve the original yogic practices which are born out of the millennia of research and development, and the contribution of innumerable, means many enlightened yogis or masters who have dedicated their lives to enriching the world with this science. So as you can see, that Nithya Kriya is very primary focus on breathing, which is the main focus, but also that means moving prana and combination of different asana. So according to the teachings method laid out by these yogis like Goraknath and Matsyendranath, they are the enlightened masters from the Natha Sampradaya, and the individual asanas and pranayama techniques are sacred and must not be tampered with, and the combination of techniques required to produce the desired result are to be received by the learner from the guru. So Swamiji said that learning from him because he's the, what I call it? He has actually designed this. Okay, so make sure that these techniques, you have the opportunity to learn from the source. Okay, so next slide. So now a little bit more about the Nithya Kriya. So see, understand we have 7 energies, 7 circuits in the body. One of the circuit is called the energy circuit, which is governed by the Kundalini Shakti, your inner potential energy. See, our body carries about 72,000 subtle channels called nadis. These nadis are important for awakening of the energy circuit of the body. And so this Kriyas works on this energy circuit. So understand these circuits are not visible to the naked eyes, but they are channels for the energy flow. Okay, so basically Nithya Kriyas are powerful tools which can help remove the energy blockages. See, any kind of physical diseases means a manifestation of physical disease. Let's say whether it's tumor, whether it is some kind of growth in the body, or etc. When it is a physical manifestation, understand the energy blockage would have already happened at a subtle level, because our body has three different aspects. One is the physical body, which is your body you can touch and feel, and then the second body is the Sukshma Sharira, which is your subtle body. Okay, this subtle body works with all these nadis, and then of course the last body is the Karana Sharira, which is your causal body, which is basically your body of light. So these are the 3 bodies, and so Nithya Kriya works on very much on the subtle body, okay, rather than, which makes change the energy flow so that it can impact on the physical body, create healing effect on the physical body. Okay, next slide. So now understand what is the significance of the Nithya Kriyas. So if your body allows you to do what you're supposed to do, then you can consider to be healthy, right? I mean, a healthy body should be able to empower you to do many things in the outer world. So in the Vedic context, health is not absent of diseases. Health means your we have Mahavcharitra here. So basically health means what? You know, the chance of having diseases is not there. So means not only being healthy, the chance of having diseases is not there. Okay, come. We have very young participants. Can you settle down? Yeah, come, settle down. Put down the yoga mat, settle down. Okay, let me just continue. So Hinduism has strengthened and redefined the ideals of physical health, psychological healing, and spiritual counseling, helping humanity, in terms of mental health, emotional health, and psychological health, by operating with a single unified goal of facilitating every individual to explore their ultimate possibility by enlightening them with sciences elaborated in the timeless Hindu source scripture called Vedas and Agamas. See, Swamiji again and again always refer back to the source scriptures, Vedas and Agamas. Vedas are the pure science, Agamas are the applied science, because that's where all the R&D or contribution by this enlightened consciousness has been stored. So to revive that, you need to go back to the source scriptures. Okay, next slide. So understand, when Swamiji was working on these 108 kriyas, these are the source scriptures he referred. One, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, as you know, Yoga Sutra Patanjali is a compilation of many yogic, sciences, okay, into one book. Next slide. And then the other three scriptures are Hatha Yoga Pratipika, okay, which was written by this Swami called Swami Swamarana, right? He's a disciple of Swami Goraknath, okay? Goraknath, which is, I mentioned earlier, from the Nata Sampradaya. And then also Girenda Samhita, which is also a classic Sanskrit Hatha Yoga textbook, okay? And also Shiva Samhita, as you know, Bhagavan Paramashivam, when he addresses to Devi Parashakti and gave her a lot of, revealed to her a lot of philosophy and techniques. This is given as Shiva Samhita. Okay, next slide. So there are also other reference scriptures that Swamiji drew upon, depending on the kriyas or depending on the healing that he's providing. So one is Kumbhaka Padati, and one is called Trishiki Brahmo Upanishad, okay, Yoga Kundale Upanishad, Yoga Chandamani Upanishad, Yoga Taravali, Yoga Pratipika, and Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. Okay, so these are the other scriptures that have been used when he worked on these kriyas. So it just be very clear one thing. These kriyas has gone through a lot of tests also on Swamiji's own body when he was designing this kriya. And also he has also worked with devotees who have experimented some of these kriyas. Next slide. So over the years, since 2011 to now, so it's more than 10 years that this kriyas has been gifted to the world. So this kriyas has very extraordinary progresses, okay, in recognizing, diagnosing, and treating mental illnesses as well as psychological distress. Okay, so under Kailasa, the only Hindu nation right now, there is a department called Department of Health. This department is committed to building on the success by matching humanity's, hardship with equally magnanimous responsibility by improving the quality of healthcare for all the Hindus through the science of Nithya Kriya. So basically, this whole Nithya Kriya science is a gift from Kailasa. Okay, so for its citizen and the devotee of His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So when all of us become healthy, the well-being is brought back to us. What we can do is that we can then in turn become successful and bring abundance, prosperity, and ultimately contributing to the whole world. So that's what he wants. He wants to enable us to give back when we are healthy. When we become healthy, we can do a lot more to contribute to the collective consciousness and humanity. Okay, so skip this. Next slide. So now let's talk about women's health. Okay, see, a lot of kriyas are designed for generic majority of the population, but some kriyas are designed specifically for women. So let's look at women's health in particular when we talk about kriyas. Okay, see, although men and women's bodies have similarities, right? It looks quite the same, but there are a variety of differences, right? One is a reproductive organ is different, and then also the hormonal, level, energy level is very different. So, and also structure is very different, right? So there are a lot of diseases and health-related issues that men don't experience themselves, even though they're the female counterpart might. That means, which is more prone to women versus men. Okay, so because the way we're designed, they're quite different. So in this whole basically kriyas, we're going to talk about certain common diseases related to women. So in actually the Kriya Songji had put in a few that's related to that contributes to women's health. The first one is being the polycystic ovary, which is what we're doing today. And there he talked about aging for women and thyroid problems, which is more prone to women as well. Women are more prone to thyroid issue compared to men. And then, menopause, the women are much more affected by the changes in the body during menopause. So, not just hot flashes, but there are also heartburn and all kind of different symptoms related to menopause. Okay, and then of course there are some stress or mental health issue. So he also prescribes the Kriya, which we first started with this mental clarity and emotional stability Kriya. Okay, so basically, a large percentage of the global population of women experiences, some kind of health issue, even especially during menopause, like hot flashes. Okay, and even although aging and thyroid problems are not specific to women, they also affect many women and have been reported as among the most widespread stress-inducing catalysts. So understand, let's say, when the thyroid is imbalanced, it affects many other systems in the body because the thyroid regulates the metabolic rate in your body. So when this is imbalanced, it means you no longer used to burn the calories. Your body does not burn as much as you used to be. So as a result, that you tend to put on weight if you have thyroid issue imbalance. Okay. So and then of course aging starts when you have a lot of disturbances at the mental level, right? It means carrying a lot of engraved memories, some scar, which has not been completed. It means the incompletion which holds you back due to the past hangover is not resolved internally, which cause this imbalance or disturbances in the mental layer. Once the mind is disturbed, it will start to cause certain chemical changes as a result affecting the different system, right? I mentioned earlier we have 7 circuits in the body. So depending on the disturbances, it will affect whether it's the circulatory system, which we refer to your heart rate and blood. It can affect your reproductive system because of the hormonal changes. It can also affect your respiratory system, that means your breathing is affected. So all these different systems gets disturbed when you're actually having the mental layer disturbances. Okay, that's why physical disease is commonly known as psychosomatic. Somji says psychosomatic means what? It starts from the mind, a disturbed mind. As a result of the disturbed mind, it manifests itself as a physical disorder or disease in the physical body. Okay, so now let's go to the next slide. Any questions so far before I enter into this Kriya? Just some questions. Okay. Please ask any question if you have. Okay. Now let's go into the Kriya itself. So a quick disclaimer once again, the flow of the Nithya Kriya is a continuous process. So follow all the steps. You cannot do one step and don't do the other steps. When it's designed with X number of steps, please do all the steps in one go. Okay, do not break in between until the whole Kriya is completed. Meaning you cannot do only one part and then try to do the other part later part of the day. No, do it at one go. If you decide to spend the time to do the Kriya, make sure you finish all the steps. Okay. And also it is highly recommended to follow this Kriya at least for 21 days. Like I mentioned earlier, 21 days makes up of it creates a new muscle memory and habit. So if you can, like sometimes people want to do 42 days, do it 2 cycle, right? Either you do 21 days or you do another 21 day, which is 42 days. This is the way how you can achieve the most desired result, and not just do 1-2 days and then don't do, and then after that, or after some time, 3-4 weeks later, you remember, oh, there's this Kriya, then you try to do again a few days and you never sustain. Don't have this kind of non-sustainable effort. Have the will persistent to finish this Kriya at least for 21 days, then you can see the true benefit and the desired result being shown to you, rather than do 2-3 days. Sometimes, see, I explain why. Sometimes your body energy block is so severe, it takes a few days for the Kundalini Shakti to pump the energy to clear the blockages. So you may not see the result immediately, so it may take a few days depending on the severity of your condition or whatever you're trying to treat or heal. So that's why the initial few days is required, and sometimes your body has a lot of toxin. It takes a few days for the Kundalini Shakti to really flow freely, right, to the different parts of body or to the organ that it needs to be healed. So do it at least 21 days. That is what Swamiji's recommendation. And again, here's another disclaimer. This technique is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical diagnosis nor treatment. Okay? So individual with any type of medical condition, you need to be very clear. If you have any medical condition, please consult your practitioner, your professional medical practitioner who can give you the advice. Even for elderly, a woman with children with below 14, a woman who are pregnant or suspect that they may be pregnant, you are best to seek the advice of the professional medical health care practitioner before you practice this Kriya or these techniques, because whatever you do is you have to take responsibility. We do not know your health condition. You know your body best. Okay. So viewers who are not on the two-way video conferencing are cautioned that they are practicing these techniques at their own risk. Understand? When you are practicing in the presence of Swamiji in this energy field, this simple Adinam, you're actually in his breathing space. Because when I invoke him, wherever it is, in this two-way, even with my line of vision, you're in his breathing space. Because as a conduit for him, as a channel for him, you are practicing in the safe space. Okay? So that's why it's highly recommended if you can join the Zoom so that you can practice the Kriya safely within his breathing space. All right. So any question? Otherwise, let's enter into more about the polycystic ovaries. What is this thing called polycystic ovary? Which is very common, okay? So let's understand this condition a little bit more for a medical term. So polycystic ovaries is a widespread condition affecting at least 5 to 20% of women of reproductive age. It means by the time a woman comes to puberty, that means they are able to have children, right? This condition or this imbalance in the ovary, means certain growth, okay, affects 5 to 20%, which is very, very high, okay, depending on the countries also. It is caused by many small cysts, small little growth, or growing on the ovaries. See, woman reproductive system has 2 ovaries, right? And because of the energy block in the Swadhisthana, the second energy center, it creates growth of cysts in the ovaries. So these cysts, though can lead to hormone imbalances, the hormonal imbalances, and also otherwise they are not harmful like cancer, okay? But it can affect your system, your regular menstrual flow. See, women with polycystic ovaries can have problems with these few things. With a period, that means the menstrual cycle not getting regular, and also difficulties in getting pregnant, right? If they want to have, babies, it's not going to be easy. And also this issue can cause also chemical messages that trigger many different processes, hormones to change their growth and energy production balance within the body. For instance, okay, this imbalance can cause symptoms like gain weight, right? You start putting on weight, and also having difficulties in losing weight. It means no matter how is it, the fats won't go away. Okay, and sometimes the outbreak of acne, right? Breakout of acne, like you're already at a certain age, but how come still having a lot of bad skin problem? Or extra hair on the face and body because of a hormonal imbalance, become more hairy. And even thinning of the hair on the scalp means what? Losing hair. So that is not so good symptoms, right? The first thing is losing hair for women. And changes in the menstrual pattern. That means instead of regular monthly cycle, you have irregular menstrual cycle. And also infertility. It means not ability to conceive. So all these can contribute to this problem. Okay. So the cysts primarily affect the sex hormone, right? Leading to increased release of androgens, which is a sex hormone, and the blood sugar hormones, which can lead to diabetes as well. Can you imagine having the cyst can also lead to diabetes if, let's say, you affect the different hormones? Okay. So, in short, early diagnosis of this syndrome can prevent and control symptoms, and it's long-term problem. Don't wait till you develop diabetes or you wait till you develop problem, then you start to seek help. So this care for this polycystic ovary is actually to not only heal but also create a very healthy ovaries, reproductive system for women. Understand? So that you can actually practice this even though you may not have polycystic ovary. So it's more like tuning your reproductive system to a healthy state. Okay, that's why I say this Kriya is not just for people with this problem. It is for all women. All women can practice and tune their reproductive organ, because our reproductive organ is unique from the man. So this Kriya is designed for women. So here are the 3 steps which I want to describe. This Kriya, interestingly, when I look through it, it is mainly working on the 3 bandhas. Okay? It's working on the 3 energy lock: Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha. Pelvic lock, abdominal lock, and throat lock. So for the first time, a Kriya only focus on the bandhas. Okay? So let's understand what are bandhas first. Okay? So those people who are already doing yogas, Nithyananda Yoga, who are also teaching yoga, this is like a revision for you. 3 bandhas, okay? All right, so now let's understand what are bandhas. The bandha is generally considered to mean lock. In Sanskrit, it means lock, or to bind, to hold captive, or to contract, okay? So that is the meaning of bandhas. And you know that there are 3 bandhas in a human body, okay? Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha, okay? Now, they are locked. Basically, these bandhas are technique which the opposite poles of the energy, or Shakti, are bound together. So when you lock the energy by the contraction of certain muscles or organs in your physical body, the energy, the Shakti, is accumulated to a particular center, is accumulated to a particular energy center or organ, for instance. So that is the use of these bandhas. And interestingly, just for the reproductive organ, healing to the reproductive organ, Swamiji has recommended to activate these 3 bandhas. Okay, so We're going to the step now. Any question before we enter into the step, please? Okay. If you have a question, please tap on the chat. So let's go into the first step, okay? All of you. You need to be seated. So let me just go through the Atta Pramana first. It's taken from the Giranda Samhita, Upadesha 3, verse 13. So the translation goes, in this mudra of Mula Bandha, the practitioner should place his left heel between anus and scrotum, that means the reproductive organ, and contract the anus. He should contract the intestine near the navel so that it touches the back. So you are activating both the Mula Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandha. Keep the right heel on top of the genitals. This mudra prevents aging. So when you activate the Mula Bandha, you stop aging. Okay. So now this is the first bandha. Okay. So now come seated in this. Actually, this posture is called Siddhasana. Okay. So it's seated. So you need to place the left heel between the genitals and the anus. Okay. The heel in between. Okay. Okay. You need to adjust. Then you're going to slightly contract the pelvic floor near the anus area. The pelvic floor, just contract a little bit. Wait, you'll come to the next step. So first contract the pelvic floor. This Mula Bandha is related to the pelvic floor. Okay, so contract slightly, and then the third step is contract the intestine near the navel such that it touches the back. Okay, so you also contract here, and then keep the right heel pressed on top on the genitals on top. Okay, pressed. Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's go to the next step. So this is you're going to be staying in this posture and continue with the other bandha. Okay. So now let's go to the next Uddiyana Bandha. Is Atta Pramana is taken from Giranda Samhita, Upadesha 3, verse 10. One should contract the bowel above and below the navel so that the abdominal organs touch the back. The one who practices this Uddiyana Bandha continuously becomes a conqueror of death. The great bird Kundalini flies up in the Susumna and flies there itself constant. That's why it's Uddiyana. Uddiyana means fly up. Okay. So now let's get into the technique. There's a long instruction. The second step is a long instruction. There are, I think, 9 steps. So please listen carefully. From Mula Bandha, in the same asanas, keep the spine straight. Head should be up, okay, and eyes open. Okay. Now take a deep breath in. Inhale now. Then exhale completely. Don't be forceful. Just inhale deeply and exhale completely, just like normal deep breathing. All right. After the exhalation, perform the Jalantara Bandha, that means the throat lock. After you exhale, on the exhalation, tuck the chin down to the sternum. Then pull the abdominal muscle inwards so that the organs of the abdomen touches the back. Hold as long as you can. Till you come hold anymore, release. Go to the next page. Yeah. Okay. Before inhaling, relax the organ and then breathe through both nostrils slowly. Now breathe for about 1 minute normally first before we repeat this second step at least 3 times. Okay. He says you can initially start with 3 times, gradually start increasing it till 10 times. Today we'll try to do 5 times. Okay. So what we did just now was the first time, so we'll do 2 more times. All right, so go back now. Parameshwari, yeah. So now let's do again the second time. All right. So take a deep breath in and out. Exhale completely. Lock the chin. Hold. Pull in the abdominal muscle to the back of the spine. Hold as long as you can. Release the lock and the organ at the navel. Inhale. Stay there for 1 minute. Breathe in slowly and deeply. Make sure that you are also engaging the Mula Bandha. That means from the Uddiyana and Mula Bandha, it creates the lock, the energy lock after the exhalation, and the throat lock also, the 3 locks. Okay. All right, let's do the third round. Come back to the same Mula Bandha posture. So you need to slightly contract the pelvic floor. Okay. Now take a deep breath and exhale completely. At the end of exhalation, lock the chin. Draw in the abdominal muscle. Hold. When you can't hold anymore, release. Again, in the relax and breathe for 1 more minute. Enjoy the silence, the kumbhaka, after the bandha. Experience the familiar energy getting awakened. All right, let's do the fourth round. So take a deep breath in again. Exhale completely. Engage the throat lock. Charantara Bandha. Pull in the abdominal organ so that it touches the back. Hold. When you can't hold any longer, release the lock and breathe normally again, slowly, for 1 more minute. Enjoy the silence. All right, let's do now the last step, the last round, last time for this step 2. Once again, in the same Mula Bandha, keep the spine straight, head upright, eyes open now. Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely and perform Jalandhara Bandha, throat lock. Hold. All right, so you're done with the completing 5 times of step 2. So you can actually gradually increase up to 10 times as you go by the day. Let's say first week you may want to do 5 times, and maybe the second week you want to do 7 times, and then third week you do 10 times. So keep increasing until you do 10 times. Okay. Now, next, third step is Jarandhara Bandha. Let's look at the Apta Pramana, Dhyaranda Samhita, Upadesha 3, verse 12. It says, contracting the throat, place the chin on the chest. This is called Jarandhara Bandha. By this bandha, the 16 adharas are closed. Okay, that means it's locking. So let's listen to the instructions. So in the same Mula Bandha, you're going to inhale fully, then place the chin on the chest and contract the throat and fix the gaze at the tip of the nose. Okay, do you know why the tip of the nose? This part, there is the energy channel, okay, at the tip of the nose. The subtle nadi is traveling at the tip of nose. Okay, so hold as long as possible judicially, and then you release the posture. That means release the lock while exhaling. So release the posture and exhale, and the lock while exhaling. Okay, you're going to do this step 21 times. Okay, let's do the throat lock. Ready? So seated in Mula Bandha. So you start feeling the contraction of the pelvic floor, and then let's inhale now. Exhale, lock the chin. No, sorry, hold the breath and lock the chin. Focus at the tip of the nose. Till you can't hold anymore, release the lock and exhale. Very powerful. 1 round only, Kundalini awakening. Okay, now continue at your own pace. Use your hand to count another 20 times at your own pace. Inhale, then lock, okay? And focus the tip of the nose. Do it slowly and comfortably. Dantara Bandha.
Do you not allow Mula and Swahisthana?
Only Mula, your pelvic floor. You experience very strong Kundalini awakening when you do this throat lock. When you're done with 21 rounds, just sit in silence for a while. Allow the whole Kundalini energy to settle down, to do what it needs to do. So continue with 21 rounds of Jalantara Bandha. Once you finish, just sit for a few minutes in silence. Allow the whole Kundalini Shakti to penetrate into the different layers of your system. So how many of you finished? Raise your hand. Finish all the 3 steps. Okay, Rosita. Okay, great. So now, Parameshwar, you can stop the share. I think that's the last slide. Yeah. So now we can share your experiences. How do you feel about this Kriya? We're still doing the Kriya. Huh?
Is it need to contract the anus during all 3 steps, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, so that must sit on a cushion.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting on a cushion. So the first step, you need to do the first step in the 2 and 3. Okay? Because it's in the same asana or same posture, move to second step and third step. Okay? Because the pressing of the heel on the different genital activates the different energy, also awakens the energy. How's the experience of this Kriya? Feel very, very silent. I feel very silent when we're doing it, especially the third step. By the time the third step comes. So I guess you need to give this Kriya at least a certain duration of practicing, then you understand the power of this Kriya. So give it more time for it to settle in, for the healing effect to take place. Let's see. Some of them are still doing. Okay, make sure. How was the experience? Anandita, feel stable and silence. Yeah. By the end of the whole, especially after you finish the second step, when you sit and in the 1 minute, right? You're supposed to pause for 1 minute and normal breathing, right? That create a lot of like a silent settling after the Uddiyana Bandha. After Uddiyana Bandha, when you allow it to just breathe normally, you feel a deep silence and very calm feeling. So if you can do up to 10 times, if you feel you're comfortable doing 10 times already right away, then go ahead and do it. Any other? What about Anandita? How do you feel?
After the first step, then sit down, then it enter into the silent space and also no thoughts at that space.
Right. You're just like suddenly this empty space, and you know that you're breathing. You're aware of everything, right? Yeah, that's restful awareness space. Yes. So the more and more we sit in that kind of space, the more and more healing happens in our body. Understand? Healing happens when you feel silence in your inner space, rather than think, run, what's it. Your mental inner chatters is what's stopping us from being healed. Too many disturbances of thoughts. Okay. Also intentionally awakening inside. Yes. When you're sitting, when you lock it, after that you release, you can feel the intense Kundalini awakening. Because the energy lock is like, imagine when you're breathing, you're just pressing the whole thing, right? You're holding it. Bottom is the Mula Bandha, and then the throat lock is the Jalantara Bandha. So the whole prana is trapped in the body. Okay, so when it's trapped in body, naturally it's going to awaken the Kundalini, right? Kundalini is at the base of the spine, so it's going to rise up. So that's why you experience intense Kundalini awakening, in whichever bandha you do. Okay, that is the purpose of the bandha, which is to awaken the Kundalini Shakti for healing, for transformation. Okay, in that silence, whatever you want to manifest, you can manifest. Okay, in that silence, you just plant that as a thought, as a seed. You will manifest. It will become reality. Okay, over Jarasharika, what's your experience? So you felt very calm and like aware of your own breathing. Yes, whole breathing system, including the nasal passages. Felt like my nasal passage got cleansed too. Yeah. See, this is what are the side effects of Kundalini Shakti awakening? Because like what Sonji is it's just like a water pump, but this is energy pump. It just pump through all the 72,000 nadis. So when it pumps through, all the systems get cleared, like whatever blockages you have, let's say you have blocked nose, whatever system that's get energy, it just clears it. When the Kundalini energy, it doesn't discriminate, it just clears everything. It just unblock those channels. Understand? That's why you feel more clarity, breathe deeply, all kinds of, we call that, experiences like a lightness, very calm, very silent, all that are symptomatic of the nadis, the energy is flowing freely. Okay? Any other question? That's the whole purpose of Kundalini awakening. So using just energy locks, our body has three energy lock, right? It's also mirrored with three diaphragm. We have three diaphragm: throat diaphragm, central diaphragm, and the pelvic floor, which is another muscle. Three muscles. These three muscles, physically is the muscles, but when it comes applied to energy, it's called bandhas, lock. It locks the energy. Okay. So that's why yogi knows how to channel the energy so that it awakens the inner potential energy for healing, for transformation, for manifesting power. Anything can be used for this awakening of this inner potential energy. Okay. Any other questions? Very good.
Quite very nice, and I can feel when I'm doing the different locks. I can feel that there's changes, still not very, very clear yet, but I can feel the changes within.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting, and the Kundalini awakening is very nice. Like I can feel the energy flow.
Correct. See, all of you will have experienced a nice Kundalini awakening, right? Like an energy flowing up, which clears whatever it needs to clear, whether it's the nose, whether it's whatever in your system that needs, to unblock, to pump the energy. So it would do its job just by awakening this energy, inner potential energy. So give this Kriya 21 days and practice it. You can share that in the chat and let's see the progress week by week. Okay. So, like I mentioned yesterday with my team, this shall be the last Kriya. We are going to pause for a while, and because come next week we're going to introduce the yoga challenge. Okay, as you all know that next month on the 21st of June starts the International Yoga Day, and traditionally we have a yoga challenge. This will be our third year running now. On the third year, we're issuing a challenge to the entire community, whether it's yoga practitioner or spiritual seeker, or people who wants to experience authentic yoga. So we're going to share more information. Please come back next week for understanding what is the yoga challenge, and then we will prepare you so that we can start the challenge for 21 days on International Yoga Day. Okay, so that's the intention to start the challenge. More will be shared next week. Any other question? No question? Okay. With that, shall we conclude this session? Thank you all for joining. Let's wrap up by putting our hands together in Amanjali Mudra.
I got question.
Ah, okay, suddenly got question.
The three, okay, I know is that the Mula Bandha you have to do in all the 3 steps. Yeah, that one is the important one. But the last step, do we still need to do the abdominal lock?
No.
We should, no need.
Only throat and this two only.
Oh.
So you don't contract. You just leave it normal, and only this lock and the below contract. Okay? See, maybe the first time when doing it, you're a bit confused. So do it a few more times, get the hang of the instruction, for 21 days and see the difference. Okay? I'm going to do this for the next 21 days. It's quite fun. All right, so let's really close now. Puna mantra. Sit with the back straight. Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Pada Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Mahaparameshwari, for sharing the slide. All right, good night.